In 1996, AQUACULTURE, the Association for the Protection of Hammersley, Eld, and Totten Inlets, was formed in anticipation of a huge aquaculture expansion proposed for areas in the South Puget Sound. This nonprofit citizen action group has spent nearly 15 years trying to help maintain the fragile ecosystem and preserve the quality of life for all native species in South Puget Sound. Groups like the Coalition to Protect Puget Sound Habitat and the Sierra Club share AQUACULTURE's concern with the stewardship and health of these vital waters. But the relentless push by major aquaculture companies have continued to the point where their high-density corporate farming practices are threatening water quality, the quality of life for species, and the very integrity of our public waters.
Industrial aquaculture has moved in, and it's not your grandfather's oyster farm anymore. It used to be where they had clams and they had oysters on the beaches. Didn't use plastics, didn't use that many nets. And now we're finding that you have oysters in grow bags, you have manila clams with nets over them, and now we have geoduck feedlots, which are 40,000 PVC pipes in each acre. And it's changing the ecology of the sound. It is eliminating our native species. It's introducing massive amounts of leaching toxic plastics. And we're very concerned. We're an estuary of national significance, and we want to protect it, and we wanted something here for the future generations to be able to see some native species and not have to go to a beach museum to do it.
Since 1997, 1998, there's been a real spool up in activity. It's actually turned into an industry using manufacturing methods to promote the product. It's been a dramatic change visually and environmentally.
The concerns regarding intensive aquaculture center around the unnatural cultivation of non-native species and also the farming methods used in the intertidal growing of geoduck clams.
The use of high-pressure water hoses literally blows the clam to the surface. But in doing so, it releases a tremendous amount of siltation into the water, which is carried throughout the inlet by the tides, the winds, and the currents. And it smothers everything it touches on, and in essence, relieves that subject matter of its availability of oxygen, and it dies. On the mussel rafts, the mussels themselves, the Gallo provincialis, or in other words, the Mediterranean mussel, is a non-indigenous species. It's not native to the state of Washington. And it has a prolific ability to hybridize with the native mussels and outcompete the existence of native mussels. It also colonizes, and it'll attach itself to docks, pilings, the beach substrate. The native mussel is kept in check naturally, but the Gallo provincialis has no known predators, and so if it continues to colonize, it could very well outcompete and overtake completely the native mussel here.
Longtime residents of these once pristine inlets have been witness to the destruction of habitat and the near eradication of native species.
The Totten Inlet is suffering. Once plentiful runs of cutthroat trout have diminished to just a mere trickle. The smelt that were here in abundance for years and years and years are gone. And they're gone because the phytoplankton and the zooplankton are not here. There's no food.
Groups like AQUACULTURE and other citizen organizations concerned with environmental impacts of the massive expansions are not anti-aquaculture. They simply want a balanced, planned, and science-based approach that protects the waters, beaches, and native habitats, balancing business with nature.
Sierra Club and the citizens that are all doing this are not anti-aquaculture, but we are for having the species left.
One of our early themes in challenging this, the project of the mussel rafts and now the geoducks, is finding the balance so that marine critters can fare as well as the shellfish critters. And we want to have both. We don't want to have just a monoculture of just shellfish.
How much industrial-scale aquaculture can our waters support? What is the impact to our public lands? How much is too much? AQUACULTURE and our partner organizations urge you to make your voice heard. Let your county, state, and federal officials know that you care about the public waters of Puget Sound and that you don't want short-term greed to overshadow the long-term balance of these waters. a balance that's needed to ensure a healthy ecosystem for future generations and all the species that call the Puget Sound home. To learn more, visit us online at affetti.com.